The views and opinions expressed in the Geauxlden Boot Podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Geauxlden Boot Podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another episode of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good, my boy?
What's happening, man?
Man, come get your boy. Come on, come on. Put it on. Put it on.
Come cutting up over there, man.
Always. He you know what he asked me earlier. He said, "You doing the show tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can I be in it?" I said, "You can be in the beginning." He's like, "I want to be in the whole thing." I said, "No, you going to go to bed." And
yeah,
like, all right, well, I'll be in the beginning. You good, Marshmallow? All right, thank you. Man, it's another good one tonight, man. I'm looking forward to it. We got our people. All right. we got our family from A&M in the building. And
yeah.
Just earlier, was it? I think this year, maybe late last year, we learned about a school. In West Virginia called Bluefield State. And we was like, man, West Virginia got HBCUs? We're like, yeah, Bluefield State. Well, we got the head man from Bluefield State on to tell us about the school, talk about this upcoming season. They to move to the CIAA. It's going to be very interesting. But first, you know I got a story for you.
Oh, Lord.
I realized today I'm getting old.
Oh.
Well, it started the other day. I was driving, I was looking, I was like, man, the signs look kind of blurry. My sunglasses may be dirty or something. Man, I'm gonna tell you what the final call was, man. I was at the office I was out and I was looking. I said it was kind of blurry. I was like, man, that lady kind of tall. Man, that lady. I was like, I don't know. I was kind of tell like, how you try to figure out. And I got closer. Oh Lord, it's a man. Yep, time to get some glasses. Yep.
I can't say nothing. I have been on the optically challenged side since middle school. Actually, before that a little bit, probably like elementary school. I've been wearing contacts since middle school, so I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come on those.
Do you know how many times I've called?
I don't want to hear you say nothing about being old. I have glaucoma, sir. I take the same medicine as my grandfather. You want to talk about being old? That makes you feel old, sir.
See, round here, we call that a look. Never mind. We ain't gonna go there. All right. I'm just saying, I have talked about people, not because they wore glasses. Not because they wore glasses, but when they took them off and they were doing all the squint, I talked about so many people.
Now look at you, nearsighted.
Very nearsighted. I'm talking about. I'm looking at my car and I'm like, man, it's clear. I'm looking outside, it's fuzzy. Like, nah, that ain't right. But man, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's talk some football, man. Too excited. But before we do, you know what we gotta do. We gotta shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Man, welcome him in from the Hill Podcast, Miss Jennifer J. Murray and Mr. DT Green. But that's not all. Also on the hill, it's a different hill though. From Bluefield, West Virginia, the head man of Bluefield State, Coach Tony Coxum. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome all to the HBCU Hour. We got you know what? I get hyped. My little league team. All my dogs in the house. I can really say that tonight. All my dogs in the house.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to bark on your podcast.
man.
Man, I hope everybody's doing well. How's everybody this evening?
Doing well.
Great.
Doing good, man. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Hopefully we can get to talk some ball. Hopefully y'all ready for that, man. I know Coach always ready for that. He lived for that. So let's get straight to it if y'all down for it.
Before you get started, though, I'm not going to sit here
go ahead.
About being old when beforehand you talk about graduating high school in 2002, and I'm sitting there, I graduated high school in 95. I'm not going to let y'all talk about this old.
That's not old, Coach. That's not old at all.
But so my point exactly. You talk about getting old. I got all this gray hair, my body hurting.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you, Coach. Every time I gotta put the eye drops in, I feel old, man. That's the same thing. I gotta help my granddaddy do it, then I gotta turn around and do it the same like that. Just now, man.
It's all good. But yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it cracking.
Well, first, if you don't mind, Coach, let our audience know about Bluefield State before we even get to the football program. I mean, and all of that. I don't think a lot of our audience even knows who or what where Bluefield State is. So just educate our audience if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, again, thanks for having me, being a part of it, man. I always appreciate the love that we've gotten, since we've joined the HBCU family and got the program going. But Bluefield State University is in Bluefield, West Virginia. For a point of reference, we're only about 2.5 hours from Charlotte. So right down 77, and been around since 1800s, and started out as a black teachers college, and we're actually we're in the CIAA now, but we were in the CIAA before, back in the early 1900s and everything. So going through a lot of iterations. We just became a university back July 1st last year. It was Bluefield State College. Had football, had a couple national black national championships in 1927 and 28. Real prominent program back in the day. The PWIs didn't want to play, like they did with a lot of the really good black programs back in the day, because if they lost, they couldn't go back home pretty much. We got a long history. Had a issue on campus, a bombing on campus, or fire on campus, and what led to the dorms being shut down, and that slowly started to take the life and to suffocate the athletic program, and it really became a commuter school. And the program shut down in 1980, so it really became a commuter school, and a lot of older student. I got hired back in 19. I got back 2020 in October, and to bring the program back, and along with literally we brought 10 other sports back. We had a few sports We had basketball, we had baseball, volleyball, softball, a few other sports, but we brought football back and and then many other sports and some new sports for the first time, and really got the ball rolling from there. And so that's kind of where we were, and now we're going into year 3 after building it back from scratch. I got here and all we had was a stadium. It was a real nice stadium we had and a bunch of history. We got to work and build the program literally from scratch. Hired all the coaches, designed the uniforms, brought all the players, designed our mascot, got a new branding on our logo, which I'm very, very proud of. It's something that can stand out there. And I think it can sit there and go toe-to-toe with any other, animal mascot in all of college football. We're really proud of the design and the look of it. And it's gotten us a lot of attention. And so we did all of that to get the program going. And most times teams take a couple of years before they get on the field to play. We took the fast route. We got on the field right away. So we brought 80 freshmen here right away. Yeah. From October to September of 21, we were on the field playing our first game with pretty much 80 freshmen, 80 kids that never played in a NCAA football game. And usually when you do that right out the way, you get your butts whipped throughout the season, But 2 minutes ago in that first game, we had the ball with a chance to go win that ball game. And we didn't get it done that day, but we won the next 3. And we finished our first season 4-3. We got a great start. And then year 2, add a little bit more. We won 4 more games this past year. And, fortunately, we're back home in the CIAA. And we're excited to get it going, to get a full roster to go compete for championships.
Hey, that in itself deserves an applause. Just that to build a program basically during COVID and to succeed or find success in that time, Coach, that's a testament not only to the players, but to you as well.
Appreciate that.
Just looking at just you yourself, you came up, you played at Army, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. How does your background, playing in the academy, how did that help how you kind of coach today?
I'm a country boy from Charleston, South Carolina, and so fortunate enough to be able to attend West Point and eventually play football there. Everything that West Point is, it's really shaped pretty much every aspect of my life. Everything that I've accomplished, everything that I'm a part of, it stems back to West Point. From playing college football, getting to serving the Army, coach in the NFL, being a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. All that started at West Point, and the leaderships that I learned from being at the academy, everything that the academy teaches us, and being around the great teammates that I was around, that we literally call each other brothers, and being in the Army, all of that, all the leadership that I learned through the academy and being in the Army really shaped everything that I do here as being a leader of this program. And my guys probably get tired of it, but I talk about Army football all the time. The thing about it, every football team that walks the face of the earth, they talk about brotherhood and being a family and what that brotherhood means. But it's very hard to get. And honestly, a lot of teams don't have that. We truly have that brotherhood because of the unique things that we go through. And I think we do it better than any other service academies. Because I say that because some have told me that. So we really understand what that brotherhood is. And I try to bring that to our guys all the time. And I truly believe that has played a part in us to be able to have the success we've had in a short period of time.
Yeah. I want to say, Battle Buddy, appreciate you and thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you saying you do to help pay the way for other young Black soldiers in the military and other soldiers as a whole. And it does. I tell you what, and we've talked about it on the show before. I could care less about Army and Navy, the game itself, until I started serving. And then we went to the DFAC one day, and Air Force had put stuff all windows, you know what I'm saying, beat Army and stuff. And it's been go Army, beat everybody ever since then. So
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you.
But yes, sir. Go Army, beat Navy, Air Force, y'all get out your chairs. But anyway,
they just gonna do some jumping jacks or something.
They don't do that. They'll hire somebody to do. Anyway, I ain't gonna talk about
started. Don't get started.
Oh man. Miss Jennifer, Mr. DT. Hey, I think we reached out to the From the Hill a while ago. It was like, hey, I want y'all to know, you know what I'm saying, appreciate the work y'all do. Looking forward to talking to y'all. Finally here, get a chance to talk to y'all. Man, tell us about the From the Hill podcast.
So our podcast started just based on some stray discussions from me, Jay, Wayne, T, Corey, and a few others. We're all pretty tight, and you know, we got our own group chat and whatnot, and we pretty much were just like, look, you know, A&M needs fan content, you know, and a couple of us have media experience, so we just jumped in. You know, we didn't just try to map out a plan. We just jumped in and just got it started. You know, I had to kind of take a back seat from co-hosting because I'm actually still in grad school. So I kind of work behind the scenes on a lot of creativity and just ideas and things. And they taken the on-air portion of it and just ran with it and done a great job. We got a lot of good input from the fans and university, family, and all that good stuff. So lock us in. Season 2 starts August 8th. Subscribe to us. We're on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff.
And yes, just to add, David as well, who is just amazing with our graphics as well as our Twitter account.
Yep.
Yeah, you're muted, my boy.
I said, is that Mr. David Thomas? Is that who
that is David right there?
Oh,
yeah, because he showed was talking. He said something about he said it's only one hill. So
yes. Now, I mean, it's kind of hard to compete with West Virginia on the hills, but
look behind her though. Look behind her though.
We're not gonna argue with West Virginia, but as far as the swag, there is one hill in the swag.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I ain't stepping on no toes. I'm stepping on no toes.
If there's any other university that can claim the hill other than us, it could be Bluefield State.
Yes.
FAMU, I'm sorry, y'all are almost in the Atlantic Ocean. Like, come on,
relax.
You know, Prairie View is in the middle of Texas. It's on a prairie. It's not on a hill.
Talk to him. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, that might be a record. It only took 2 questions to get some HBCU track talk up in here. That's
that's what I'm talking about.
It usually take about 3. You know, say that everybody be.
It's usually me having to bring it out the guest. The guest coming with it tonight. That's what I'm talking about.
Ready. We stay on ready.
That's locked and loaded. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm gonna say, hold on. Before you do that, I always appreciate. I just want to say, shout out to our, you know what I'm saying, statistician, Mr. Chuck Hunt said Grambling played Bluefield State in football in 1956 at Grambling. That's some history for you.
At the hole, not the hill. The hole.
Go ahead.
I just was gonna ask Mr. DT over here. Speaking of CIA, y'all coach is very familiar with the CIA, very successful in the CIA. Started off that way whenever he got to the SWAC. My question is, what does it take for him to get to the level of success that he had in the CIAA?
Well, they've been working on that. You know, Maynard is a quarterback guy. You know, he's
definitely
he fell into a really good situation with us. The SWAC is extremely competitive. Extremely competitive. You see what it took for a team to actually go undefeated. Jackson State had to go dig up somebody out of the Pro Football Hall of Fame to come coach and go undefeated. And, just undefeated seasons aren't, it's not like in the SEC where you got one or two teams that'll go 12-0 back to back. No. We don't do that down here. Everybody in the SWAC is at each other's throats.
Everybody.
And
there's no cupcake.
There is no cup. Yeah. Listen.
I mean, we saw it last year with Valley.
We lost the Valley last year. And I said on our podcast, the show before that show, and I said, look, nobody that ever puts on a football uniform wants to go 0-10 or 0-11 or 0-12.
That's
you come up on a desperate, team and they'll catch you slipping. Yeah, but I think that going forward, I think that Maynard's got pretty talented team this year. He and the staff, they've snuck in some nice quarterback transfers. There's one guy coming from, I believe it's Georgia State. And another one that's transferring from Northern Illinois, and both of them have legitimate game time experience. They've got a returning starter who's familiar with the system. It's going to be a dogfight at quarterback this fall camp. Got a good receiving core coming in. Of course, it's going to depend on how the quarterback situation shakes out. And I'm looking at an improved defense too. I think we're going to turn some heads on defense. So I'm looking forward to it. On top of just the football part, and Jay, I'll let you touch on this. We've got some what can I call some trinkets. We got some trinkets getting laid around campus and around the football stadium this year, don't we?
Yes. So some of us, T as well as Corey, two of my co-hosts, we had the opportunity to be hosted by the athletic department, and they gave us an exclusive tour of some of the facilities around the stadium. So I don't know if y'all have heard, but we're getting dog houses.
I did see that.
They are because the picture really doesn't do them justice. They are huge, and we'll have AC, water, electricity, and it's right in the end zone. So there, it's pretty much going to be a party inside of the game. So let me just tell you right now, if you have a doghouse, I'm your cousin. I'm just gonna show up and it's your cousin Jen, and you just gonna let me in. It's gonna get time. But they can do pretty much anything. Barbecue. You can have a bartender. You can pretty much have your own party in the end zone.
Yeah.
That plus we have a new host as far as the game day experience. So this person is going to be the crowd hype man, working with the DJ, just making sure that we're just really elevating the game day experience. So they're bringing the kids zone into the stadium. So listen, I got to tell Bulldogs, if you are watching and you have not gotten your season tickets, jump on those season tickets, because I'm so excited for the work that our AD, Dr. Paul Bryan, and his staff is just putting into our programs.
Yeah. One thing that I did like that I saw from Paul Bryan, and it was at first it seemed like a very risky move, but it looks like it's paying off with some of the stuff like the doghouse and stuff like that. But it's the task force that they put together, where they kind of shined away from some quick money from the classic and decided to, not pull out of the classic, staying with the classic, but doing some other things. So can y'all tell us about the task force or what you do know about the task force?
So the previous agreements with the Magic City Classic essentially was a promoter handled the revenue portion. And to my understanding, this move is basically for the university to control that function that the promoter previously carried out. And some people they kind of bristled at it like, whoa, wait a minute, but here's the thing about athletics in the next few years. Like, if you're not taking calculated risks, you may miss out on big opportunities. And a lot of times, we kind of get a little, oh, well, we're just doing the same old, and this is a calculated risk to me. And I think that it's going to pay off, because I just looking at the committee, I think that they've got a pretty competent group of people that they're looking for. They've got, good track records. This could be a pretty big thing for us, beyond just, Magic City Classic. This could go beyond, for an entire football season, basketball season. This is a good thing for us. And A&M has a history of doing things first, and then other SWAC schools taking that model and, doing things similar to them, to how we did things. And, we come from a Division II history similar to Bluefield. We came out of the SIAC. And when we came into the SWAC in 1998, a lot of other SWAC schools kind of looked down on us, and we gave them the business, like
business.
Some of the big three, they came in here talking noise. Southern came in here talking noise, homecoming 98, full house, and they got beat, we just kind of, A&M and Huntsville in particular is a different university in a different city than what is par for the course in the SWAC. And a lot of SWAC people, when they come and visit, they see that up close. And so when things like this, this move that we're making with the committee, taking over the promotional function and the game day, observatory functions, I think you're going to see other SWAC schools and other HBCUs do the same down the road.
And just to kind of piggyback off of what DT said, when we did come into the SWAC, we came with 12 SIAC titles. So we were a SIC powerhouse, and you bring that mentality to the SWAC, it just help us make that transition easier.
Yeah. Well, speaking of transitioning, Coach, the transition y'all are making. I'm looking at your schedule right here. It looks to be kind of favorable considering you got both Lincoln and Virginia Union at home. What's the vibe from the team, about the challenge that they got ahead of them, going into the CIAA this year?
We're excited across the board. The first 2 years, we played a limited schedule, mainly because, protect our guys, having only 80 players the first year, then got up to about 90 in year two. We didn't have a full 10-game schedule. Two reasons, obviously, for that. I didn't want to get up to that much. But also when you're fully independent, it's hard to find all those games. So we played 7 games the first year, 8 games the second year, and now we couldn't play for anything. It was just our guys are playing for the love of football, being in college, getting a degree and getting better. And it was just be patient, keep working. We were working towards something, we're building. And, we got the call to, that they were bringing us back home to the CI. And, that helped in so many different ways. We were already doing a pretty good job recruiting, but that opened up avenues for us where people were a lot more willing to listen, because now they know, hey, again, we're only 2 hours from Charlotte, so we're not that far from North Carolina. So it's like, hey, kids in North Carolina, hey, we get to, half the CI is in North Carolina. So we can say, hey, yeah, you're gonna get to play in front of your family. You come down here with us. Hey, we got a chance to play for championships. We get a chance, guys, to play for all conference awards and all and things like that. So, we're really excited about it. The other thing is that, I tell people all the time, it's so hard to win a football game. Every time you win a football game, you cherish that. So there's no such thing as an easy win. There's no such thing as a cakewalk. We're in this thing deep, and we got some of the the teams that you call them the perennial powerhouses in the conference. We're playing them all this year. We're in the North, so we'll be playing Bowie and Virginia Union every year. We got them both at home back to back this year, if I remember right. And then we got the defending champs coming in. Fayetteville State's coming in. So we got those guys. So we're glad to be home, and But we're not expecting any real parades. We're expecting to come on, welcome in, and they're gonna try to give it to us, and that's fine, and that's what we want. That's why we play this game. But I think with our guys, we always talk about how to play the game and how to prepare for it. And Mike Tomlin is a mentor of mine, and so I really look up to. Not only being a great coach, he's also my fraternity brother, and he says it all the time: the standard is the standard. You play to a certain level, and that's what we try to do. Everything with our guys, we try to set our standard of play and focus on that every week, because we can't control how another team plays or prepares. I think a lot of times coaches or teams and players get too worked up trying to focus so much on what the other team is about. You can only do so much. So we focus on what we can control. And we try to play to a certain standard. And the analogy I like to use is it's like boxing. You know what I mean? In a boxing match, it used to be 15 rounds back in the day, but now it's 12. But you prepare, you train for a 12-round fight. And you train for it to go the distance. And you can use the same thing in MMA. You train for it to go the distance. And it's about respecting the game, respecting the competition, that you're expecting your opponent to do the same thing. But if someone doesn't train the right way, someone can get knocked out. And the thing about football, they don't give you a standing 8 knockout. You got to play 4 quarters. So our thing is we always respect our opponent to play. We're expecting them to come out and give us everything that they have, because that's what we're doing. And we try to play to a certain standard, and we try to feel that, hey, our standard is high enough that some people may not be able to reach our standard of play. And that's the difference in the ball game. We make them play to our standard, and may the best team win. And we're going to scratch and claw and kick and fight, and we've proven that over the past 2 years is we know how to win tight ball games. We don't know how to blow anyone out yet. We haven't done that yet. But we know how to play tight games, and I'll take that all day long. 5 minutes go in the game, and it's within a score or two, I feel good about what we're about. And prime example is our very first win, our first year, second game of the year. We go on the road to Elizabeth City, and within 5, we're down 21-0. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I got a bunch of freshmen playing their second college game and their first road game. And, our guys didn't flinch. Got them huddled up on the sidelines. Hey, what's going on? Are they doing anything that we're in for? It's us. And they all agreed. The next 5 minutes, we tied the score right back up 21-0. And we outscore them, the rest of the game. From point being down 21-0, we outscored them 35-6 for the rest of the game and won the ball game. So that's the type of thing that our guys don't back down. They fight, they scratch, they claw. They play to the end, and that's how we evaluate things. I evaluate games on how our standard of play, and there were games that we've won. There were games that we lost that pleased at how we played than some games that we won, if that makes sense. So I don't necessarily get caught up in the actual outcome. I get caught up how do we play, because that's what we can control: our effort, our discipline, our execution, how hard you play, how much you show the love for the game. And if we focus on that and do those things that we're capable of, I'll always be satisfied with that performance. And 9 times out of 10, we'll get the outcome that we're looking for.
Coach, we had a question in here, and I make tailored a little different, but our good man Melanated asks, what is a realistic season for Bluefield State in the CIAA by season end? And I guess I want to tailor it to ask this: what does success look like for you at the end of season 1 in the CIAA?
That's a really good question. It kind of ties in what I was just saying. It's about performing the way, going week in and week out, playing to the standard that we set for ourselves. We don't get caught up in worrying about what anyone else outside of our program says or what they expect of us, because no one understands the work that we put in. And that even goes to inside our own walls here at Bluefield State. You know what I mean? No one else really truly understands the work that we put in. In the same way for us, when we're looking at our basketball program or our soccer team or whoever, we were pulling for them. We see a little bit, but we're not with them every day. You know what I mean? So no one can really, unless you're in that grind, you're doing it every day, you don't understand the work that's in it. So we focus on what our standards are and what we're capable of doing. And we understand, and we put the type of work in, we put the type of effort, we prepare to where we are as coaches. Every game on our schedule is winnable. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right.
On the flip side, also losable if you don't do those things. So we go on with that mindset of play to our level, to our standard of the game. And we're going in with that mindset of, if we do that, we play to those standards that we have. Come week 6, 7, 8, as the season rolls around, they could be saying, "Hey, Bluefield State's got a chance to be in Salem for the championship."
Yeah.
Why else do you play? Why else do you play?
Exactly.
So again, but we're not focusing on that. We're focused on the work we got to do every day. So we're focused on the work that we got to put in on that and what gets us to that point. Because you start, you eat an elephant one bite at a time. You know what I mean? So you can't focus on the outcome of the game. You focus on this play and things you go. I kind of go by a thing. I call it win now. And win means what's important now. And now is no opportunity wasted. You focus on that stuff that you got to do right here and now, because that's what you can control. And when you do that, that breaks everything down. That makes everything simple. And hey, focus on doing your job. Do your job the best of your ability. And what I tell our guys all the time, and you got to embrace what your role is. Okay, embrace your role, because for you, whatever your role is, it's the most important role on the team. So whether you're the starting quarterback, or you're the guy on the scout team, or you're the filmer, if you have the mindset, if I don't do my job to the best of my ability, the program's going to fall apart. You know what I mean? And if everybody embrace their role like that, we're going to be successful. Pooh, you get it. It's the military mindset.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, you do your job. It's another way to say doing your job. But you got to realize your job, my job is to be the best head coach I could possibly be for these guys, or they're going to fall apart. That scout team guy, I got to do my best job, give them the best look, or we're going to fail. Embrace that role and know the year, week to week, game to game. But whatever role you're put into, you embrace your role. Like, if I don't do my job, we fail. And when you do that, sky's the limit. So that's kind of how we look at it. And we just try to go at it every day, and we try to have fun while we do it.
I don't know if you got a spot for a slow cornerback with bad eyes, but I'll play for you any day, Coach. For real, man.
I appreciate that.
I don't even want to play. Listen, Coach, I'll tell you, I got experience on college football, EA Sports college football, and Madden, and I was coaching a flag football team, 5 and 6 year olds, and we put up 56 points, just the defense. So I just want to say, if you need help, I'm your man. But
keep that on the short list.
Yeah. Our good man Zach says, put me on the Bluefield State bandwagon. Coach is preaching right now. Tell you, it's
I want to ask that same question to From the Hill podcast.
Yes.
So what does success look like this year for A&M?
So Coach, in all due respect, you gave us the inside the locker room gospel. I'm about to give y'all the
from the
bleacher.
Yeah.
You always talking gospel. Okay.
Because it's two different. It's totally different things.
This is a Louisiana podcast, right?
Yep.
Geauxlden Boot, y'all talk, Southern, Grambling, some LSU, some this, that, and the third, right? I have a prediction, and I want you all to hear me well. A&M goes to Grambling and goes to Southern this year, and we ain't coming back with Nan L.
Oh,
he said Nan.
Now,
Serious right there.
I don't care. Look, we have a fan base that tends to lean on, caution and all of that. Listen to me. Connell Maynard almost won the D2 national championship a little over 10 years ago. Okay. You don't get that close to glory and lose a hunger. And we owe Southern for a trip. We went down in 2019 and the refs stole it from us like they always do when we go to Louisiana.
And I was there mad.
And we owe Grambling one for all the times that they, tried to sneak us, in the various ways that they know how. Old boy, the coach down there, no disrespect, but it just don't look like it's working for him. And I think he's probably going to be on the hot seat. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's sent back to NFL to sweep floors or what have you after we beat them. So mark it down. A&M is beating Southern and Grambling State this year.
October 14th. I'm gonna be there. Grambling, Alabama. I'm gonna be there.
That one in Mobile, I might have to schedule that one. You know what I'm saying? Make my
and
way
we
down.
Might not leave out of Mobile with an L either.
It won't.
Because we owe them two. There it is.
Revenge tour.
What time is that game? I obviously I'll be busy, but I'm gonna have it on to make sure I which one after the game check out the score.
Which one?
I gotta check that out.
Which one?
Either one, both of them.
So, we got. Let me see here.
Or how we say back home. Both
Southern is in Baton Rouge on September 16th. That's the night game. 7. That'll be perfect. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. Then we got Jackson State October 7th. That's a 4 p.m. in Mobile, and then October 14th. Yeah. October 14th, we go to Eddie G. Robinson down at Grambling, and that game kick still TBA.
My apologies. I got the Jackson State and the other game confused, but yes, I'll make sure I'll be tuning in. Speaking of,
there are bills due to collect. Go ahead, Jake.
Just to piggyback real quick off of DT, I did want to circle back to the task force. And this is something we're looking forward to as well, because I really believe that, and I want other HBCUs to watch what we do, because in the years that we control the game, which are the even years, will be completely responsible for planning, just everything, coordinating. So it's going to be a high risk, but by cutting that middleman out, we have the high risk, but we will have the high rewards as well. And on top of that, just going back into the trinkets that DT mentioned, we have the new turf. I know if y'all have seen it. It is gorgeous in person. Pictures doesn't do any justice. We have a new scoreboard coming as well, new facilities for the teams. They're right now working on the locker room for the teams right now. We got a chance to see the gutted portion of it. So again, I know Coach was doing some great talking about Bluefield and recruit, but let me tell y'all, you want state of the art, you come on down to Norman's Hill.
Hey, I could testify. Even before some of it was done, I was, so I went in that stadium. I was like, oh, this is what we doing up in Normal. Okay.
Here's the thing about risk taking too. Okay.
Yes.
Who owns the most profitable sports franchise in pro sports? It's the Dallas Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys when they were losing $1 million a month. Okay, that was a risk. This was oil money out of his pocket, buying a team that was losing $1 million a month. That was risk. Okay, you don't move forward sitting still.
Scared money don't make no money.
Not at all.
And I just want to address one more thing. There is a hornet in the comments. It's just
I'm trying to get to it.
And buzzing away.
Irrelevance.
So,
they finally beat us after years of getting destroyed. But I'm gonna tell you something, melanated righteously. I want you to come sit by me in the end zone. You come sit by me.
Hey, he said, bring them little houses to Birmingham. Hell, put them in the shade. The results will be the same. Send a name, a pink slip, and an updated vaccination record.
See, let me tell you something. What y'all don't know about Alabama State, I'm really trying not to let them have their moment. But Alabama State is pretty much owned by most of the HBCUs in the state, including us. Tuskegee owns them by a lot. We own them. So ever so often, they have to enjoy the few wins that they get. So I'm gonna let them have it.
You said a broke clock right twice a day, huh?
Far between.
You can
a blind squirrel gets
a
blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then, huh?
I remember when Tuskegee went down there and photoshopped the shed over their home side,
yes, they
over
did.
their visitor side of the stadium.
Oh,
yes, they did.
And I guarantee
you, bringing out the receipts tonight
in Huntsville this year.
Melanated, you can't say stay current. You started this, my boy. You started this, my boy.
He's like, why are you bringing up old stuff?
you started it. I mean, you bringing up last year, Melanated, so you can't do that, man.
These folks struggling against Miles. We can do this.
Oh man.
And I don't play about Miles. That's my parents' school. I don't play about Miles. That's my parents' school. So
for those of you who don't know, Faulkner is
church school.
Yeah, basically in Montgomery. Yeah. It's never mind. It's
Let's
small.
go, baby. It's after the 4th of July.
Yeah, it's football time, man.
It is almost time. We're this close, y'all.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. I was just gonna ask, so you said y'all gonna beat Grambling Southern and y'all gonna beat Jackson State too. So I'm assuming that you saying y'all gonna be playing for the chance to go to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl.
We always play for that.
Yes, I'll say yes. We're gonna be in contention for the SWAC championship and staring down a Celebration Bowl. Yes.
Okay, so that game versus FAMU, that's gonna be for who goes to the.
We owe them too. Listen,
that's what I was waiting on. I was waiting to see if that how far that redemption tour goes.
There are invoices on the table that have money that need to be transacted. Okay, there are bills due.
I love it, baby.
You can print that on the shirt. Somebody print that on the shirt. 2023 Bulldogs.
That is a hell of a shirt.
Bills
Run
due.
it.
That is a hell of a shirt, though. I will give you that. That is a great idea.
Man, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Somebody asked Mr. Chris Tucker asked this: will Bluefield State be getting a marching band?
Yes, we're working on that to get the band director and to get a band built like everything else that we're working on. So our vice president of athletics is working very hard to get that going. And again, we want this to be the full-fledged HBCU experience. So yes, we are working on getting that going, and as quickly as we possibly can.
If I'm not mistaken, Coach, the demographics at Bluefield State is different. Bluefield State and West Virginia State are a little different than most HBCUs because they are predominantly white.
Yes,
but they are still the traditional.
Yes. And like I said, when I told you how when the Jones got shut down, that changed the demographic and it became predominantly white. And just in the last two and a half years of us being here, we've increased that minority of student body population tremendously. So that'll continue to grow and continue to change, and just going to take a little time. But we're definitely making strides to make it look right.
Understand? Well, I got the other one, Mr. Wayne Cartwright is in here. He came in early and said he helped represent for the From the Hill, supporting his family. That's what he said. Supporting my From the Hill podcast mate. Season 2 premieres on Tuesday, August 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. But he comes back melanated and says ASU lost on Thanksgiving at home to Weak Pine Bluff. Laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. Ooh, I tell you.
Hey, Melanated, you might need some backup, man. You came in here starting all that mess, and you ain't got your hive with you, man.
I do this 24/7. I work with a lot of Hornets. We do this 24/7. So Melanated got to step it up.
Yeah, he need to bring some of the rest of his hive with him or something.
Let me tell you about Bama State. Bama State will run a Boston on every other sport except for football and basketball because they get whooped so much in football. So their track program is excellent. Their volleyball program is excellent. If they got croquet or whatever else they got down there in Montgomery, they're going to win the SWAC Commissioner's Cup every year. to make up for getting embarrassed in the fall in football every year. Every year. I think they may have beat us in the Classic like twice out of the last decade.
Quick question. Ask them how many NFL Hall of Famers they have.
Lord.
Well, Coach, let me ask you this: with this rivalry going on,
trying to cool it off.
Ooh, Coach, let me ask you this: what is Bluefield State's rivalry?
So we're trying to get one, man. Like I said, because it's been so long. Like I said, naturally with the the North Carolina schools being so close, we'd love to kind of work into one with the likes maybe Winston or even John C. Smith. Like we played John C. Smith already twice. This will be the third year of doing it. And I think we'll be playing them every year for the next 5-6 years. So that could be a natural one. Actually, Coach Flowers and I were, if we didn't, before we actually officially got into the conference, we kind of had a handshake agreement of trying to get a classic set up for that. So that could be a natural one that could develop. Would be cool to get something with West Virginia State, since we're both in the state, and make that one of the early games. So, we're trying to find one, man, but those things kind of, they build naturally. You can't force it. You know what I mean? So hopefully, with the way the competition goes and over the next few years, we can build something to where a natural rivalry kind of emerges within the conference, and like I said, outside the conference.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna give you and you don't necessarily control how it happened, but all it takes is a 1-point win here, 1 point loss here, or something like that, or in some cases,
overtime win.
I was just gonna say a seven overtime win, and then all of a sudden a rivalry is formed.
I mean, like I said, we played the first year. We went up to J.C. Smith and played them there, and we got to win there. They came to us last year, the season opener, and it was a night game. Actually, it was a Thursday night game, and we went into over. It was a great game, back and forth. I think they went up 10-0. We got back and forth, came down to the wire. We ended up going to overtime, and they got the ball first. They scored in overtime. I flipped over on to my D coordinator. I said, I told my offensive guy, I said, hey, well, before they scored, I was like, hey, when we get this ball back, when we score, I'm going to go for 2. You good with that? Mm-hmm. And the DC coach, let's ride. Like, point rate going for 2. So and we had a play set up. They did a great job. They called a timeout right before the snap, so they got to see the play. Mm-hmm. Some OC was like, what do you want to do, coach? I said, you put 2 or 3 in the game plan, right? Call the next one. And we called the next one. And it was a walk-off, man. We got one in the back of the end zone, stormed the field. So, it's that type of stuff, man. And like I said, Coach Flowers is a heck of a ball coach, and he's doing a great job there. And like I said, that one, I could see that naturally just be alumni in Charlotte area. And we've already played 2 great games back to back, and we're playing again this year at their place. So it's the one that could naturally kind of end up going that way. So again, however naturally it happens, let's make it happen.
Coach, I got just a little piece of advice for you. Mm-hmm. Get in contact with that other coach of that other program you're just talking about, and call them up and just say, look, me and you, we need to, set this little rivalry that we got, smoldering. Let's set it on fire. So I'm going to say some stuff publicly, and you can say some stuff publicly. We're not going to mean, no harm, no foul, just a little, just a little something. It's like you getting the grill ready. You want that fire to kind of, and just next time you get in front of a camera, in front of a meeting, just say, we ain't scared of nobody. We come to kick their tail. And there you go. And it's just going to take off from there, because fans will take care of the rest.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I may take that up on you a little bit. Sometimes, I'm a very competitive person, and you see what I just did. Oh yeah, I see what you did. And it'll get out of me at certain times, about how we go about those certain games. I have a way of kind of motivating through other channels. So
just cut you a WE promo. You know what I mean? Just call them out right there. Get your social media guy the camera, and just call the coach out right there, man.
Listen, I tell you what, Coach. I was just kind of playing, but we got some messy people. Our good man,
Blue cutting up tonight.
Blue Blood's been cutting up in these comments.
I know he's cutting up tonight, man.
He said,
"Who's directed that though? That's got to be directed at somebody."
FAMU and
FAMU.
And then he say, just say it was all self-inflicted.
I've been on different spaces and stuff like that with Zach there. And he would, I'm seeing a different side of him right now. Usually he's pretty chill and calm and cool and kind of, diplomatic. I see he got a little bit of savage in him right now.
Well, Coach, he cut up on our show because he know, saying with affirmative action, we gonna always bring him on. And so,
I don't know. We might have to talk about that.
But, listen, I told you remember our first.
We're not required to no more, so we can drop our DEI. We can drop our DEI requirements. You know what I mean?
No, listen. Well, I told Zach the first time he came on, I was like, "Hey, you said yes to come on. You were down with the foolishness. I was warning you." Yeah. So,
but somebody did say Zach can stay because he's not white, he blue. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
I'm cool with that.
Zach's invited to the cookout for sure, no doubt.
I keep telling y'all he gonna host the cookout. He just can't DJ. But
hey man, he gonna have that. He gonna have that. Before I let go on and everything, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't even gonna know.
Hey, somebody said I secretly think Blue is from Pritchett. Hey, now that
wow.
That's
wow.
Listen, that's probably the best one. If y'all don't know, look it up. I'll leave it at that. But let me ask this. All right, so Jen, DT, let me ask you this. So naturally, Alabama State is in state rivalry or whatever, but it's still family. Because we talked about this, I think last week, like Southern and Grambling, you know what I'm saying? It's a rivalry, but it's family. Who is a rivalry that is just like, I don't care what y'all say, it's on and popping?
It's really Alabama State. Like,
it is. Okay.
It's family, but no.
So here's the thing.
It's a cousin that you don't give sugar to. Like, can I borrow some sugar? No. Go to the store, buy it.
The problem that you have in Alabama is, let's just be real. Both schools don't have, 12, 15, 20 SWAC championships like the Gramblings and this, that, and the third, right? Mm-hmm. So when you contain all that energy into Birmingham at the end of October, it's a powder keg, man. And you have to come to the Classic to get a true feel of just how rough that rivalry really is. Mm-hmm. They have buses that trolley you in from different parking points. Right. And if you lose the Classic and you parked at the hotel downtown or off-site away from the football stadium grounds, and you have to get on that bus with some Alabama State people and you lost, you would rather be in hell than be on that bus with them, because they will get head, and vice versa. They don't get a chance to win like they used to. So when we do lose, it's one of those things where it's like, like somebody's liable to throw something at a TV, you see. So it's, it's people say family, like, yeah, but it's still a little,
like, and everything is about
like
the
family by marriage,
the cheerleaders battle. On my work computer, I have a picture of Akil Glass smashing, like mushing the head of a Bama State defender. And so anytime I hook up my computer at work to do a presentation, that's what's going to show on the big screen. So, it permeates in every aspect of life. I've seen people do Halloween decorations around Classic where they'll, do a figure of State against A&M or A&M against State. It takes on a whole nother thing. So yeah, it's pretty much Bama State.
And it extends far beyond football.
Yes.
Like you come up to Huntsville when A&M and Alabama State play each other in basketball. Back in, when Elmore was still Elmore before, we went through some renovation strain a few years back. I mean, like we had extra security in there, because it'll get hot and, tempers get to flaring and, just somebody get dunked on the wrong way. And it is what it is. First of all, it's Huntsville versus Montgomery. And to truly understand what that means, you would have to be on the grounds to see it, to see the character of just how both universities are and how the alumni are. You liable to see, somebody in a well done, gray suit with a maroon tie and this, that, and the third, and somebody in a big gold gaudy jacket, because it's Huntsville versus Montgomery. And to understand that, you have to see it in person.
Yes, and one thing, it gets pretty intense. And Birmingham is the middle point of the Huntsville versus Montgomery war. So
it really is.
It's completely neutral.
Yeah. So you say it's family, but it's like family. You still don't. So basically, it's like family through marriage. Like you just married my auntie. That's the only reason why your son. You remember
how the mascots get to fighting at the games. And it's like a real fight.
You know how during COVID, during quarantine, when it was just like, all right, get me out of this house, because it was just energy contained and one all this time, and it's like, get me out of it. That's how Bama State and A&M is. It's a powder keg. It is a powder keg. People talk noise all year round, and I'm not talking like just friendly noise. I'm talking like, don't let your preacher hear your noise.
Like I just got a new start, a new role at work, and I was doing my tour, and during the tour, I'm trying to be professional. So as I hear a bulldog, and it's from a hornet, like at work, like it is everything. When I was a student, I'll never forget. I used to be a part of the pep squad, and so we would participate in chants and things of that nature. We went to Montgomery for a basketball game, and we lost that game. These jokers down there drew maps of Alabama and put a map of I-65 North and pointed at us and showed us the map of how to get back to Huntsville. Like it. You can't do anything but take that. So
hey, I'm sorry, that was pretty good. That's
you got mad, but you were like,
good.
dang it.
That's pretty good though. That's pretty good though. So that's one of the ones where like at the time you can't admit it, but like when you look back at it, like
they got me.
They got me.
So I used to live in Montgomery for like 10 years.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I moved to Huntsville. And my best friend went to Alabama State. And he called me, like it was a video chat, and I had like an A&M shirt on. He said his first words were, "Oh, so you just wearing the local stuff now, huh?" and I was like, nah. I said I got Alabama State stuff too, because I wear all the HBCU shirts. But it's just funny because I didn't think about it then like that. But he was really offended. He's like, our friendship was in question about that shirt. So that's
you chose the wrong side in his eyes.
Hey, I told him, I said, listen, both of them. Now, I do want to say this because this came up from HBCU Nightly about the Classic. And my thought was, and I talked about it when Wildcard was on here. I said that I think that A&M is going to win the Classic because for two reasons. I felt Maynard would get it right as far as who's at quarterback before Eddie Robinson got it right. And I also know that statistically speaking, it's been decades since Alabama State has won back-to-back Magic City Classics. So my question is, what is Maynard doing to get it right at quarterback? Because look, I don't want to eat that crow. I just want to.
So we have, and I like how he does this.
Mhm.
You know, we'll just be minding our business as a fan base, and then boom, I've committed to Alabama A&M University, and you start researching them. Oh, you played at Georgia State. Okay, whatever. You go looking at his, you know, his little bio. Oh, you played in a bowl game. You won a bowl game. You played in this, you played in that. So we've got a transfer from Georgia State who played FBS, like actual snaps, not on the bench, not just at an FBS school to say they went to an FBS school because, you know, their teammates back home looked up to them and, you know, the swag was nice. He actually played at an FBS level, you know, high level football. There's another one that played at Northern Illinois. The quarterback situation at Alabama A&M, I am more comfortable with this year's situation than I was of last year because I knew that we were potentially gonna, you know, go through a post-Glass transition period.
Right.
Just knowing this staff, you know, Connell Maynard would throw the ball 80 times a game if you let him. You see where I'm coming from? And so
the quarterback in him, man.
That's the quarterback in him and the OC and the quarterback coach. Like that's their MO. And I don't think that they were satisfied with how last year played out. No offense to anybody on the team, you know, they did as well as they could with what they had, and you know there's still a chance for last year's starter to, you know, potentially start this year because of just time and grade and whatnot. But here's what I do know: Connell Maynard does not want to go 2 years in a row with a season like we had last year on offense. And if I had to guess,
but I do want to circle back with as far as last year. A lot of people don't realize how we started our season off. We started with FBAB, then Power in Alabama, and then Austin P, a FCS strong team. So that was pretty much one of probably the most difficult schedules to start with in the SWAC. So thankfully, you know, we only have one. We only played Vandy this year, but and that's, you know, that's kind of hard to get from. So I think that was a huge factor in the season that we had last year.
That's true. Coach, let me ask this, because they brought up, you know, some bringing in transfer quarterback, and I know you were trying to build your roster. Did y'all go kind of portal to help build your squad, or was it more like, hey, we're just gonna bring in the freshmen or other guys who haven't played that may be like academic style and bring them in and build the program that way?
The first year was pretty much just all high school kids. We had a couple kids that were like at JUCO, things like that. So we started with, you know, that way. And then last year we got some transfer kids in, a few here and there. And again, they wasn't like they were transfers from any, you know, they were like maybe high-end JUCOs or other smaller schools, things like that. So we did get a few of those. We actually had a kid that in the first game the first opponent we played against in our first year, he was a linebacker there, and he actually transferred to us and played linebacker, and he was voted team captain. He's been phenomenal since he got here to us. Not only as, you know, he was a very, you know, starting linebacker for us, did well on the field, but outside of that, he completely embraced Bluefield State, the HBCU world. He's our SAC president. He works with our SID and doing marketing and all the video stuff. He's truly embraced. He's the type of young man that really, that, you know, epitome of what we want, that represents the school in every aspect. Everybody on campus knows who he is. He's involved with everything. And then even now this year, we've gotten, you know, we're still recruiting high school kids. I believe you build your program and you really you get that consensus of building that culture of your program through really high school kids and having them grow up in your program, but you use the portal to fill holes that you may need for how recruiting process go. You may not have a guy here, you need one spot here. So we are doing that, and we're getting some kids that have transferred from other D2s, from D3s. We've got some FCS transfers. We got some FCS HBCU transfers. We have an FBS transfer. So we're getting kids from all over. Again, we just go evaluate, and we don't necessarily put it to a set number of what we look for, but we still lean heavily on high school to get that culture so we can build and grow, and then we supplement the team with transfers in spots that key spots that we may need an older guy or things like that. And really, going for the second year and this year, we wanted to make sure our kind of goal was, if I wanted to put anything about a goal for transfers, we wanted to get one for each position group. Because again, our guys this will be our first year of a guy really having a true college football season. The full 10-game season without any bye weeks. Roster big enough now we can have a full kind of a real training camp. So there's going to be some challenges and new experience even for the guys who've been with us for 3 years. And we wanted to bring guys that were transfers in each position group, so now they can help them, even our guys who've been with us for 2 years already, say, hey, help them kind of grow and lead, mentor them, because they've been to programs that have been established. So that was kind of our mindset. And I think we've done that. There may be one or two positions that we didn't do that, but for the most part, we have a transfer in each position group on our roster.
We actually had 2 questions come in, kind of different questions. Melanated, serious question, Coach Tony. Would you prefer to develop a local freshman or coach a bunch of transfers? No shade to any transfers, just asking.
To me, it's all about development, man. Because again, it's beyond. It leans more towards of what I truly feel what my role is, and that is to, good Lord, put me on this earth to develop young people, and He used football for me to be able to do that. And I really embrace that part of it. I've been to the NFL level. I won a Super Bowl, and I've always leaned toward being a college coach, because it's nothing like when you get these young people, when you first meet them when they're sophomores at these camps, or some even freshmen, and you start recruiting them as juniors. And you get a kid when he's a junior, meet him as a junior, you see him at other camps, he comes to your camp, he comes play for you, and then he graduates, plays for 4 years. That's 6-7 years that you've had a chance to impact this young man's life. And it's so important now, because right now, part of my, I guess, monologue, or whatever you want to call it, I don't want to call it a pitch, because when he said pitch, that sounds like a salesman, and I'm not a salesman. It is what it is. But what I tell that the young people today, they're lied to in the world. They're lied to through social media and just how the world presents things to them, make them feel that they're entitled to things, and they can do no wrong, and they can say and do whatever they want without any consequences. And that's not real life. So I tell them all the time, my job is to help you develop to become the best father, if you choose to be one, the best husband you choose to be one, but be the best man and leader you can be once you graduate. And my goal is, when these guys graduate and get their degree, it's literally to go out, not just to go out and be a provider and do good things. I want every young man that graduates from our program to go literally change the world. That's my goal for them. Now, it's lofty. That's cool. I got no problem with that. But that's the mindset. We're trying to impact these guys so they can go out, whether they stay in Bluefield, they go back to their hometown, or they go to China, they go to Budapest, wherever they go. I want our young people to go out to change the world. And that's how we invest in them. So we tell them it's going to be hard. We're going to demand a lot of you. But that's what real life is. When you get in the real world is waiting to kick you in the stomach, to drop you to your knees, and then it's going to look for opportunity to curb stomp you. All right. We're trying to prepare you for when you get kicked in the stomach to blow it out, stand up, and keep going. So that's what we do. So that's kind of a long-winded answer to say I want to get those young guys because you kind of mold them early and teach them the ropes and get them to that point so they can get their degree by playing the game they love and then go out and change the world. That's what my goal is. And oh, by the way we do it, we'll win some football games the way we'll win our fair share of football games by doing it that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Coach, I am rooting for y'all in the CIA. I'm rooting for y'all.
You
Appreciate
it. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Zach from the Blue Bud said, what is it like having to recruit your own roster each year due to the portal? And how do you handle guys who may want to explore the portal?
It's the challenge, man. It's really a challenge. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about the entitlement piece and the shortcuts and want the immediate satisfaction. Again, I'm very real with them. When guys come up and say they want to get in the portal, I don't try to talk a single guy out of getting into the portal because if you have someone that's unhappy, it's not going to be good for them or it's not going to be good for your program. But what I do, I provide them with the facts because none of them know truly what the portal is. They think you get in the portal and every school in the country gets notified that they're in the portal and they wait for someone to call them. They have no idea what it is. So a kid comes to me, wants to get in the portal. I try to, hey, okay, what are you thinking? What are your rights? Why do you feel like you need to leave? They go through the stuff. Sometimes it's just arbitrary, silly stuff, to be quite honest with you. And I'll give them the facts on it. But also what I do, I'll log into my portal. And I'll literally show them. I said, see what that number says? 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. That's how many kids are in the portal right now. Now tell me what else you see, because a lot of people don't realize there's no athletic information in the portal. All it is your name and the school. All it is for coaches to check to make sure that you're in there so another school can talk to you. That's it. There's no height, there's no weight, there's no video. Only this sites like 24/7 and stuff like that, they start portal where they get some of that stuff. But the actual NCAA portal, all it is just, oh, he's in there, I can talk to him. And no one knows you're in there unless they're looking for you. So you got your you got your 300 followers. That ain't enough to get you where you want to go. You know what I mean? So that's how we process. I said, if you want to get into this and go, hey, if I can't, especially if it's a kid that done everything that we've asked them to do and not cause any problems and all that, say, hey, I'm like I said, once you play for me, I'm always gonna coach you. And I'm always gonna look at you. You're always part of my family. You do the things the right way. If you want to leave, I'll help you find where you want to go. Coach calls back. I'm gonna tell him, give you good word. And now on the flip side, I'm not gonna down talk you, but I'm going to tell the truth also. Because now my word is on the line. My name is on it. If I know you're a troublemaker, if I know you're not dependable, you don't show up for things on time, I'm not gonna sit here and tell another coach that you're going to do that. I'm gonna say, hey, here's what he's good at, but here's where he needs to grow. But yeah, it's difficult, man, because kids will hop in the portal for a lot of different. And the sad part is there's a lot of people who are telling these kids to get in the portal and it's not out of place, out of malice. It's truly a lot of them out of place. They really care for them, but they don't understand how it works. They have no clue what it works. They go off what they see off of TV, and they see guys like Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler and all these other guys that can transfer to big schools and thinks that applies to them, but it's not. It's not the same thing. Everybody knows they're in the portal because they're on ESPN every week. No one knows you're in the portal from little old Bluefield State. Now, they barely know from Alabama A&M or Bama State or Jackson State or whatever. So it's not the same, and these kids don't wrap their head around that. So I give them the truth. I give them I'm honest with our guys, top to bottom. I tell them when they're doing well. I tell them, I kick them in the butt when they need to be kicked in the butt. I hug them. I tell them I love them. I'm going to be real with them. And because that's what they don't get. They got way too many people patting them on the back and telling them how great they are. And that's not the real world. That's not how we recruit. If we don't got to do that. We're already talking to you. We're talking to you. You're here on a Zoom call or on campus. We know you're a good football player. If you weren't, we wouldn't be talking to you anyway. So we try to give them the truth, and it's worked. Even on our places, their parents or the guardians or whoever report people, let's say, coach, you guys have been the realest people that we've talked to, and that's all I ask for. I want to be able to sleep at night. That I told you the truth and you made a decision because you felt you wanted to be here. If you decide you want to leave, that's cool too. But I'm going to make sure you leave under the right pretenses, because I promise your mama or your grandma, your auntie, I'm going to take care of her baby. And I'm doing it from the day you come and be a part of our program. If you're there for 6 weeks, 1 semester, or 4 years, I'm going to take care of you the whole way through. And I'm going to tell you when you're messing up. I'm going to tell you when you're doing well. Guys that I coached 10 years ago, they got their own kids, and I see them say something silly, do something. I call, man, why you do that? Yeah, coach, you're right, because that's my job. So, because that's what it means to be a family. That's why I talked about earlier about that brotherhood that I learned at the West Point. That's what I live off of, and that's how I coach. That's how I coach our guys.
Yeah, that's what's up, coach.
DT, J and Miss J Dot. Quick question: what game? Because I know DT already said there's some bills to be cashed. What game you got circled?
Well, I have a running bet with my significant other, who is an alumnus of Jackson State. And so we have this little profile pick bet. So whoever loses, they have to change their profile pick to the team of the winner. And so I've had to change my profile pick the last 2 years. He's going to change his this year.
Okay.
You're a good one. Somebody challenged me to wear a T-shirt for a day. I told them,
that's not gonna happen.
I'm listen. It was like, hey, you gotta wear. This was a Bama LSU thing. Hey, you gotta wear a Bama. I told him to kiss my. Never mind. My dad be watching the show. DT, who you got circled?
I actually have 2 circled, and for different reasons.
Okay.
One is Southern on the 16th because invoices need to be paid. And Tuskegee homecoming.
Ooh.
I'll be there.
We listen here, and you listen good. I have clamored and begged and pleaded for us to schedule Tuskegee for homecoming for at least the last 6 or 7 years. It's not a big, it's an old SIAC rivalry. One of those cutthroat things. We have a good time and kick it.
Yes.
Our tailgate, the tailgate is the highlight of the show at A&M homecoming. That's not going to be the case this year and likely in the future due to the changes inside the stadium. I'm looking forward to a packed football stadium, shoulder to shoulder, packed tailgate. They're doing construction on the parkway up here, so traffic's going to be just downright demonic. We are going to lock down the city of Huntsville, the land flowing of milk and honey. And we're going to have us a nice time homecoming. So if you wanted to come and visit and see just what Alabama A&M and the city of Huntsville is all about, you mark down, what is that, September 30th at 2 p.m. And I highly advise that you get somewhere close to that campus around 9 a.m. right after that parade.
Because it's a wrap after that.
After that, if you get there after the parade, you can just find you a bar somewhere and hope they got YouTube.
The hotels for Huntsville has been sold out since January, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Coach.
Man, I'm saying, man, if they ever need to have like what's the word I want to a reverend to talk about football, brother DT, you got it, brother. That's something you got that voice, and you got that vocabulary, you got that, you kind of got that Samuel L. Jackson, doing the the monologues and the things like that.
Mhm.
Brother. I mean, you got it,
Hey,
man.
Now,
you
see, I
need to
just
narrate-
gotta
you need to
jump in
narrate
on here.
you need to
That is
narrate all the
confirmation.
hype videos.
Exactly.
I have been talking.
Jen, don't you start.
I'm not gonna start.
Don't you?
I'm not gonna start, but I've been mailing him about that. So thank you, Coach, for that.
I'm
Look
being
at
dead
God.
serious, but that was top notch. Off the top of your
Hey.
dome like that to do that paint that picture. I saw all that. So that's
Coach,
top notch right there, brother.
Coach, you got to call in sick one of these Saturdays and come to Huntsville.
Yes. And listen, you call in sick. We gonna take care of you, Coach. We just love you, Coach. We gonna take care of you.
I appreciate that. I got business I got to take care on Saturdays in the fall, but
he got invoices that need to be paid too, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Coach, and I know we talked about it a little bit. I know you can't, you don't want to show favoritism, but let me ask this: your guy that you've got going with you to media day for the CIA, can you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, so that's great. That's the young man I was talking about earlier. That's TJ Gunter. He was a senior linebacker for us. We played him in that first game. He was at Lawrence Tech. He's from Detroit, and made the switch. He came to us last year, and like I said, man, everything about him. He has that. What you think of a linebacker, that's what he is. He's a leader. He demands a lot of himself and his teammates. He's not afraid to, basically call out guys to do things right. And the other thing about him, I saw a lot of growth in him, to where, he was calling guys out for doing what you expect, but not quite always doing it himself. Small things, and we identified that in him, and he completely changed that. You know what I mean? To where he does everything right. He's the first in everything. He's embraced, like I said, or he used to campus, embraced the HBCU environment we have, and president leads all community service things. He's a epitome of a student athlete. I think he finished well. He made Dean's List. Had a 3.5 GPA this past semester. He's all in. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to come to me and with ideas about things that he would like to, about the team that he thinks will make the team better or things like that. And because he's invested, that's the best way. He's fully invested in Bluefield State and to our program. I can't say much about him, much more about him than I did, man. I'm glad we have him. And like I said, he's got, this is his last year, so I know he wants to go out with a bang and make this the best year of college football he has. And he has a bright future, whether he wants to be in coaching or to go on beyond that. So I can't say enough good things about TJ, and we're so glad to have him. And he's TJ, but when he do get on my nerve a little bit, I call him by full government. I call him Tristan. So here's Tristan. He actually, our DC, he calls him Tristan by his first name all the time. So, but yeah, we're very excited that we have TJ, and I got a feeling he's gonna have a really good year in the conference. And he's a guy by the end of the year could definitely be on some lists for all conference, first, second, third team, however we want to do it. I doubt we're gonna have. I mean, we won't have anybody on it this year, obviously, but he's a guy that definitely can be contending for some postseason honors, individual honors.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna since you're talking about media days and who's coming to media day, I was just gonna ask them about Donovan Eaglin, the running back, and I believe Hayes, the defensive lineman, is the other one going. Yeah. Although, and obviously we all know about Eaglin, but those gonna be kind of the main guys that y'all count on both sides of the ball this year. And who else is kind of some key guys for y'all this year?
Those are gonna be two of the surefires. I would also, gentleman named Jordan, he's going to be likely getting a lot of playing time on the opposite rush end of Zarion Hayes. They're going to make a nice bookend there on defense. I look forward to seeing who ends up with the sacks out of those two. There could be a Mathis Freeney type situation going on there. We also got some cavalry coming on inside linebacker with a guy named Evan Craighead, who's transferring from Samford University out of Birmingham. He's a local kid. He's been making noise since he got on campus as well. Eagleton's going to tote the rock. The running back room has talent. I know we had one couple transfer out. Listen here, if the quarterback situation is not, 50 passes a game, it won't bother me at all because I like balance. Just my personal, just as a fan, I like seeing, a defense have to defend, not knowing what they're going to have to defend on any given play. So, those are the main two. And then there's going to be some nice feelings too. And look out for a secondary. I think we're going to have a little more talented secondary than what we think. And that's why I think our defense is going to make big improvement this year, especially with Coach Boulware in another year in the system with the players.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to Keenan Hambrick, wide receiver. I'm looking at him to have a pretty big season as well.
Yep.
All right, Coach. So we got our man Kelly Flicks chimes in, says has Coach spoke about his QB Devon Friedland. He says Cali quarterbacks run the world.
Yeah, Devin came. He was one of the kids that transferred from us last year. I love the way coming in. He's out there at the JUCO he was at. He was led the country in passing, just confident passing. The great thing about him, man, he's best way to put it. I say he carries himself like a pro. What I mean by that is not saying he's a guy that is a pro player, but the way he goes about his business is very pro-like. He's always stretching. You see him working. He's got his foam roller with him everywhere he goes. He comes to the field. It's like he's coming to work. He's got a bag and he's got everything ready to go. He gets out there. He'll grab a couple guys and they'll be throwing things. He'll throw routes to those guys. Before we even do walkthroughs. After that, he shower, get all his stuff. When he's not, not in class, he will just come by coach's office when the offensive staff is in there watching film. He would just sit there on the floor with his foam roller, just watching practice. So he's definitely locked in that way. The players respect him. He's a tough guy. He can run it. He can throw it. He's got some gunslinger in him. He'll make some throws that you're like, how in the world did I get through? Prime example of that is what I talked about earlier, the overtime game, where he threaded a ball between three guys in the back of the end zone to make a play. First drive, our first touchdown, he scrambled and took the ball like 70 yards. So he's got that Cali swag. He's a Cali cool, laid back cat. But on game day, he looks like he plays like a linebacker, man. He's got that intensity about him. And sometimes that does get him in trouble because he's a little too amped up and he always wants to make the perfect throw. But I always rather say, whoa, than giddy up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's a guy that definitely you don't have to motivate him. He does that on his own and he does a great job. He's definitely a team guy. All he cares about is winning. He had some health injury stuff that came throughout the year, and it kind of kept him in and out. But when he wasn't in the game, he was right there with the backup quarterback who was playing, encouraging and all that. Nothing such about him. And again, he was a guy that was elected captain. And again, both of those guys came in. I let the team vote, and they were two of the newest guys on the team, and they basically got voted captain in camp. So that tells you what their teammates thought of them. So we're excited about Devin, and we got like everything. We brought some really good kids in to compete with them. But he's a guy that he definitely on the competition side. He'll rise to the occasion, and we're excited to have him back for his senior year.
All right. I want to first off, I think I got like one question. I want to thank everybody for joining us, Coach. You listen, my wife gonna be mad at you because I'm about to run through some walls. Listen to you and DT. I done probably bought too many tickets for the homecoming game just to make sure I get there. So y'all in trouble. I'll send the invoices.
Because invoices got to be paid. Right?
Invoices got to be paid.
DT, if you see me use that on a post, don't get mad at me. I love
It's all yours, Coach.
I appreciate it.
So let me ask this, DT and Miss Jen. When the season ends, A&M's record will be
9 wins.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow DT. 9 wins.
Okay. All right, Coach. I'm not gonna do that to you. I just out of respect, for what you're doing over there. But I won't do that to you. But I'll say 10 wins. There you go. All right, here we go.
Hey, I won't be mad at that, brother.
Let me revise that. 8 in a possible.
Oh, you went Space reference.
I'm about to say he turned this to a space game.
8 in a possible.
I hope I'm not out of order on this, but there's a certain Southern jag in the comments. Not just it's been letting fly. I've been, I'm really not trying to mess up my tailgate invite at Southern with this. But he made a statement about Prime, Coach Prime, embarrassing Coach Maynard, and we haven't heard from him since now. So, Coach Prime never blanked Coach Maynard. Okay, so you keep it cute.
That's a fact.
And remember that we saw y'all lose 35-0 and then turned around and lost again a couple of weeks later. Ooh. Keep A&M out your mouth, baby. Amen. Go ahead.
She dropped amen on him. You guys just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go after that one.
Well, with that said, before we go, Coach, go ahead, Ant.
I was just gonna say the question that that's what you can do.
No, go ahead. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Okay,
go ahead.
Coach, tell us, saying Ty, you actually met Ty, took a picture with her recently, and she says, Coach, can you tell fans how to support your program? And while you answering that, I'll give you the floor to saying anything you want to tell the people about Bluefield State.
Yeah, man, we met at the ATL, the mega camp this past weekend. Great conversation, man. She got a great football mind, and it was good to finally meet face to face. But again, thanks everybody for all the support we've gotten across the 2 years we've been here. We got nothing but love from the entire HBCU community. We have our, my personal Twitter is at Coach Cokes 17. That's my Instagram and my Twitter account. Our football Twitter is at BigBlue_FB. And if you go to bluefieldState.edu, that's where our school page and that's our sporting page, and all of our schedules and everything is there on it. And in general, man, like I said, we're excited to get the program going again, and we're excited to be in the CI back home. And we're just ready to go out there and compete and roll the ball out and give everything we got and see how this thing plays out. So thanks everybody.
Yeah, Coach. My man at Down South Football says we need to get some Bluefield State paraphernalia. The promo code.
So dope.
Yeah, the promo code is invoice because it's got to be paid. So
I'll see what I can do, brother.
But we definitely gonna be some supporters. Do we need who goes this first or DT? Who want to get first? Okay. What I'm saying? What need to show?
Season premiere is August the 8th, 8/8/23. at 7 o'clock Central. Sure you come in, support us, follow our socials from the Hill on YouTube as well as Twitter and Instagram.
All right, Mr. DT, it's all yours, sir.
And on top of that, if you plan on making it to any Alabama A&M football games this year, you need to get your season tickets at AAMUsports.com. And you better get them early because Tuskegee for homecoming, if you're not there, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And 8 and a possible. 8 and
What's the possible? If you don't mind me asking.
FAMU, because they got a nice quarterback.
That they do, my brother. That they do, my brother.
Nice.
I ain't even mad at you for that one, bro. That they do.
Hey, I do. Hey, in the chat, listen, I want to say it's always love. We appreciate everybody for coming through. It wouldn't be SWAC if we ain't have no, you know what I'm saying, competitions in the chat, no challenges and a little trash talk. It wouldn't be SWAC. But I definitely appreciate everybody. Thank you, Miss Jen, Mr. DT, Coach. Thank everybody for coming in. We'll definitely have to do this again. And Coach, if we may have to holler at you after the Johnson C. Smith game. Let's see how, you know what I'm saying, how that, you know what I'm saying, the trash talk work.
We do our talking on the field, baby.
Yes, sir. All right. And we'll be back on Monday. And this might be the one people been waiting for. We got Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman coming through.
Oh Lord.
We'll be back on Monday. Y'all pray for us.
I see what you did there, Pooh. I see what you did there.
Well, I'm just saying. But all right, man, we'll be back on Monday. And like that, we out. This show.